Welcome to another episode of the Power Law Investor. Today is August 16th, 2025, and I want to give you guys an update on the Kaspa PAI, the Power Amplitude Index, tell you where it is right now, and also tell you why by using the PAI, I didn't want to buy the dip that we recently had in Kaspa. So we're going to work through all of that and you'll get to see my thought process. It's not financial advice, but it does tell you how my approach is and it will be informative for you guys. Again, not financial advice, just for informational purposes. All right, so Bitcoin about 1,717.5K, Kaspa about 9 cents, and we've seen some volatility in the Kaspa price. And how do I know if this price over here at 7.7 cents was a great time to buy or not, right? And the way I've come up with a quantitative way to estimate that is by using this PAI, the Power Amplitude Index. It basically tells you based on the color how good of a buying price the current price is, right? So right now at 9 cents, it gives you a PAI of 0.345. The way that the math works is different. Well, the math works consistently across different assets, but it does require a certain amount of calibration. And I wanted to give you guys a real clear picture of how I quantitatively knew that I want to wait for about the 0.2 risk level, which today would be about 6.5 cents, right? And the way to do that is by looking at these two graphs that I've recently developed. This is the time spent in the PAI zone, and below is the cumulative PAI distribution. What does that mean? It's basically telling you how much time it falls in these particular risk bands, and you get these different colors. So based on Kaspa's history so far, you only get it in the dark blue region 5.7% of the time, right? 5.7% of the time is just this. That means the rest of the time, it's at a higher value, which means that if I get it in this zone, it's the right time to buy. But also it happens only 5.7% of the time, so it's going to be a rare opportunity, right? So what I've done with this PAI is basically giving you a rare opportunity indicator for Kaspa, all right? And this is analytically backed, mathematically developed. And what it's saying right now is that if I want, for me, I want it to be in the zone that it's about 20% of the time. I want maybe 20%. I'm right at the bottom 20%, but there's 80% up there. So I feel pretty good about buying at that price. So for, in this case, this cumulative distribution over here is basically the sum of this one and this one, 12.7 and 5.7 give you 18.4. And what it's saying, if you want to be around the 20-ish% mark, you want to be looking for a value of about 6.5 cents. And that's why when the price of Kaspa dipped to 8.29, or over here, right over here, dropped down to 7 something, right? Well, can I get it? Let's call it 8 cents, right? At 8 cents, I still wasn't really interested, right? Because I didn't feel that this was a convincing enough opportunity with 80% of the upside, right? That's not in terms of 80% in price, it can be a lot more, but in terms of time spent. I want to make good, powerful, strong investments. And the risk I take is that maybe I don't get the price, right? And so in my situation, as you guys who've been following the channel know, I already have some Kaspa. And so I'm only going to add to it at a great price, all right? And that's what this indicator is telling me. It's telling me what is that great price. If you're taking an estimate of about 20% of the time, then you're looking at a great price for around 6.5 cents. Now, I don't know whether we're going to get that price or not, but I am comfortable with waiting and waiting and waiting. But when I do get that price, and sooner or later it's going to happen, crypto's very volatile, right? Sooner or later something will happen, I will get that price. And then I can securely go for it and deploy capital because I know based on this analysis that I'm in that 20% zone and there's 80% still to follow. So this is a really powerful approach, and I hope this shows to you guys that what my particular metric for this is. For those of you that are interested, the current price or the current PAI is 0.345, and so that would put us in the middle of this zone over here. But you can see, right, we're already up at 63%. So we really don't have a lot more upside at this point. There's a lot more downside, right? So it's not a great price. The reason why this is not set in stone is because sometimes you'll find that with these assets, there'll be a massive acceleration, right? Like you can look over here. You shot up all the way from about 5 cents to, I don't know what, 14 cents, right? And so when that acceleration can happen, you could have been already in a bluish zone and you shot up all the way to a red zone, right? But all things considered, it's for me much better to be in this area over here. And right now at 0.345, it's still a little too rich to add to my bag, right? But for you guys, maybe you have a different thing. So like and subscribe. Obviously, the best way to support me will be to sign up for my newsletter at powerlawinvestor.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And there will be some stuff that's coming out exclusively only for people who subscribe to that. I want you guys to sign up, and I want to give you something for your time and trust in me. So please go ahead and do that. But in the meantime, you'll also find these graphs that will be on the website before too long. So that's all for now. I don't know what the future is going to hold in terms of Kaspa prices, but I do know if I get the price of 6.5 cents or lower, that's going to be a good time and I can sort of increase my exposure there with confidence. That's all for now. Talk to you later.